red lights go on and they go out, and this Aim Shop Ma7da race gets underway, and it's a pretty good start from Martin West from the outside of the front row of the grid, and they head down towards the first corner. It's West that's got the lead of this race, then Jonathan Lister in second place. It looks like Martin Shelton has made up a good start and he's up to third position. He started fifth on the grid, and Daniel Sibbons is in fourth spot as they head around Clairvaux and Hawthorne for the first time in this race.
Doesn't feel like 5 minutes ago we were talking about Ma7da racing, does it? It comes thick and fast on this 750 Motor Club race weekend. And West then leads into Tower. There is 99, Martin Shelton, who started fifth, so higher than we've seen him over the course of the weekend, due to gaining positions towards the end of the earlier race. Through the S's they come, pretty much flat out, but it's the two quickest drivers I think this weekend who are right up front there. So Ben Powley didn't make a good start, did he? That's what's happened there. He's got for sixth. So it's West, Lisetta, then a gap back to Sibbons, and here comes Powley. He's trying to gain positions after not the best of starts. And he's alongside Martin Shelton, probably on the wrong line for the, he's just hit the grass there, got sideways. But I think he's actually still got the inside, so I think he will go through. David Jones is just behind. So he's again a little bit higher up. So the grid's a bit mixed up because of problems for others earlier on, Ian. So they'll be working their way through the order from further behind.
So Martin West, having made that good start, still leads this race from Jonathan Lister. The top two here, pulling away from the rest. There's 1.8 seconds back to Daniel Sibbons in third place, number 56. Simon Court in fourth place, number 55. And Ben Powney fifth, and Martin Shelton in sixth place. I think we had 17 cars take the start of this race. A little bit of attrition as the weekend has gone on, but Callum Barnes back out for a third go, having retired from the race earlier on. We're watching this battle with, well, we were watching the battle for about 4th, 5th and 6th. Simon Court, Ben Powney and Martin Shelton go through. Pick up on Lucas Batt, who finished 7th in the earlier race this afternoon. He's running in 8th position at the moment. So watch the leaders sweeping their way through. The Jim Clark S's through. Now the fast right-hander at Croft and up towards Sully runs again. And Jonathan Lister seems to be staying pretty close to the back of Martin West's car.
And we heard that Martin West not so confident on the brakes as David Jones is off the road. Martin West not quite as confident on the brakes as Lisetta, so is that why Lisetta can gain a position? If Ben Powney goes up the inside of Simon Court for fourth there and gets through, so he's picking them off after losing out early on. And up into the hairpin they go, third, fourth, fifth, sixth all together, but it's still Martin West then who leads up across the line at the end of 2 laps of this 15-minute race. But Lissetter's in the tow. He has a little peek to the inside into Clairvaux, but that's not going to be a place to pass on this particular lap. He'll be conscious that nobody else is immediately behind, so he can challenge at this stage, Ian. And when he did get in front earlier, he was able to stay there as West. Was he a little bit sideways onto the run up towards Tower?
Looked like it to me, but it doesn't seem to have compromised him too much, although getting close to the back of him is Lisetta as they bear down on Tower Corner. Shelton and Simon Court there doing battle. Looked like Martin was trying to find a way past Simon as they went into Tower that time. There's a gap back then to, I think, David Mason, number 43, in 7th position.
Ben Powney has the fastest lap, 1:33.5. At this stage, he's about 6/10 of a second quicker than the leaders, and he's just got to get past Daniel Sibbons. Then perhaps he can work at catching them. And maybe while West is in front, that might help Powney. Now he's on Sibbons. He looks to the outside, so a different approach because of the defence from Daniel Sibbons, but that's not going to stop Ben Powney. He's just going to drive right round the outside of him.
Yeah, it was nicely done. Ben Powney goes through to third place then at the left-hand element of the complex, and now he's got to get his head down to try to catch the two leaders who are getting on for a couple of seconds up the road at the moment. Martin West and Jonathan Lisetta. There's Panu, who's already putting daylight between himself and Sibbons, isn't he? You can see there, Sibbons under attack now from Simon Court on the way into Clairvaux. Sibbons just going to wheel through the edge of the gravel trap there. Is that going to cost him anything? I don't think it is. It means, though, that we've still got Court very close to the back of him. This the leader, and it is now Jonathan Lister that's made his way through into the lead, so that's a change. He's got ahead of Martin West, and the two-time winner already this weekend has the lead of the race. Can he keep hold of it? Not sure that he can, because as they come out of Tower, Martin West is actually alongside him still. And as they're going to go into the Jim Clark Essies now, I think they're going to be pretty much side by side, and Martin West has gone back through. So he was in the lead for about...
Runs wide. This is surely going to allow Powney to catch the two leaders. Powney set another fastest lap, a 1:33.46 last time. So surely this is going to bring him even closer to the top two. They're battling behind as Simon Court goes up the inside of Daniel Sibbons and takes 4th place. But yeah, 2 seconds from 2nd to 3rd is not that large anymore. There's the Hill logoed Ma7da 7 of the champion Jonathan Lister, right on the tail of the leader Martin West. He couldn't be too much closer coming out of the final corner. He catching in the toe. There's already driving standard flags going out after less than half of the race. But Lister looks down the inside into Clairvaux. Martin West is going to have to give him space here, and he's going to run out of road is West, and that immediately is going to give Lister the biggest lead he's had all day.
He's also going to give encouragement to Ben Powney who's now only about 2 car lengths behind the car of Martin West in 2nd position. And Powney has got a gap back now to Simon Court, number 55 in 4th, Sibbons 56 in 5th, and Martin Shelton 99 in 6th place. Then it's David Mason in 7th, very much having a lonely race as things stand. Leaders through Tower on lap number 5 of this race. Probably going to be a 9-lap race, I would think, for the Yokohama Ma7da 7s here. Lister it is that leads, and well, actually, it looks like West has regained some of that advantage, or put down some of the advantage that Jonathan Lister did have.
Behind, not far behind, is Daniel Sibbons, Martin Shelton, and then David Mason. Those two. I think Mason has just got up to 4th place. He's having his best race of the weekend, much more where he'd like to be. And then Martin Shelton's having one of his best runs too. So that's good to see. Yeah, David.
Simon Court.
Simon Court. So that's because we've lost from our timing screen the leader, who was the leader, Lister, hasn't registered for whatever reason on the last lap on the timing screens.
He's definitely there. He's coming out of the hairpin now and coming through to complete the 5th lap. Over the line he goes. We'll see if he registers that time through. No, it doesn't actually. So it's on the screen it's saying Martin West is the leader, but Jonathan Lister, we can see, is there on the track from in 2nd place Martin West, 3rd place Ben Powney, and then a gap back to Simon Court in 4th place. So 3 for the lead, 3 for 4th position.
Yes, the timekeepers will be figuring that one out, I'm sure. So bigger advantage for Lister out of the chicane that time at the end of 5.5 laps. Behind, Martin Shelton has got himself up into 4th place. So this is the best we've seen out of Martin, which is great to see new drivers or different drivers getting further up the order. Flat out there through the S's for Lister. Barcroft, that's right on the brink of being flat out in these cars, but that makes it so challenging. You heard, didn't we, from Martin West earlier? He said how surprised he was how quick they are. And a great progression from the low-cost championship.
Interesting that he recommended, though, that anyone that's a newcomer perhaps to go into low cost first and sort of build up your experience before moving on to something that is a good deal more challenging by the sounds of it to drive. So 4th, 5th and 6th on screen now, and it's Sibbons that is behind Simon Court there with Martin Shelton now at the front of that group. Jonathan Lister it is that still leads, despite what your timing screen might be saying. Just looking to see if his car registers that time through at the end of lap 6, and nope, still showing us only 3 laps completed for Jonathan, so a glitch in the system there. but he is still leading out on track. A bit further back, Daniel Court, he went quite well yesterday, but he's only back in 8th place with Sam McKee and David Jones just behind him. But we're back with the leaders on the way down to Tower with Martin West about to make an attack. I can see for the leader, Martin West, you can't see this in the screen, or you can now, has gone for the lead. He was alongside Jonathan Listeter, and he's not quite made it work in the end, so Listeter hangs on.
Your point about Daniel Court, he did start near the back though after retiring in the gravel earlier. It's side by side through the S's. Listeter has to give space there to West, but that's adjusted his line a bit and he's out over the curbs. West has a look into Barkoff. That's not going to be an overtaking opportunity here. And thanks to the timekeepers, Jonathan Listeter has reappeared as our race leader on the timing screens and on our graphic package. And Listeter then. And then West, and then Powney. It's still the same order. Behind guard jinking out of the toe, trying to make a move. That's Martin Shelton versus Simon Court. And they're side by side as they come through into the complex. That's where the leaders are on lap 7 of this race. And still going to have a few more laps to go yet, with about 11 minutes completed. 4 minutes to go then, so that'll probably be 3 more laps here.
Yep, something like that. So top 3 going down towards that, but look at that side by side for 4th place there as they headed over the line. And who's going to emerge in 4th position at Clairvaux? Wait for them, and it's Simon Court ahead of Martin Shelton once again. And then it's Daniel Sippens in 6th position. Meanwhile, we've got a problem. Is that involving the leaders? Because Jonathan Lister is now on his own, and Martin West, there he is. Martin West has had an off at Hawthorne. Is that a problem? Has he got either a flat tire? Is that a bit of debris or something just flapping from beneath his car? But Martin West out of the equation now. It's just the 2 of them for the lead. A bit of a gap between Jonathan Lister and Ben Powney. And that, what you can see on screen there, now the battle for 3rd position, headed by Martin Shelton.
The driver who finished 8th in the championship last season then, up ahead of Simon Court and Daniel Sibbons as well. But I think whatever happened to West has dropped Powney back as well, didn't it? So we'll get news of that post-race. There's the gap, yeah, so that looks pretty settled. But for 3rd position, it could be any of these drivers you would think. And not that far behind them is David Mason, who's having a much better run this time. And he started a bit further back on the grid as well after the incident towards the end of the earlier race. Up into the left-hander here, the hairpin that completes 8 laps of racing, and Simmons has a big slide there out over the curbs. Jonathan Listeter has got a transponder that's failed, so that will be readjusted manually. There you go. So the gap is 2.2 seconds with a couple of laps to go. And then that battle for 3rd place. There's great battles as well further down the order. See if we can pick that up perhaps for you before the end of the race. But Martin Shelton's 3rd, out over the grass is Court. So could Martin Shelton here be on his way to a first podium finish in Ma7da 7 racing? But here's the battle behind then. So this is a battle for 7th position, which Martin West is involved in, is he?
But he's lost places, so he must have a problem of some description. He's lost out to Daniel Court and also Lucas Batt, and I think Sam McKee as well, yes, although Sam McKee's got a 5-second track limit penalty. So Martin West, I think, has got some issue that's going to probably ultimately rule him out of this race completely with... well, actually, it might not, because we're right at the end of the race, aren't we? But
there's McKee in that Ma7da 787 Le Mans winning car livery, inspired livery on that car. Enjoying his first weekend in an open top car after racing his BMW for so many years. He'll be after that again later in the season, I think.
So we should get one more lap now with Jonathan Lister coming up and over the line with 14 minutes and change having gone. And less than a minute of race time to go. So it's Lister leading, Powney 2nd.
Daniel Court's also got a 5-second track limit penalty, so this could go the way of Lucas Batt again, just like it did in the earlier race.
Yes, because it's likely that he will lose out to Lucas Batt and Sam McKee here.
Well, McKee's got the penalty as well, so...
Yes, that's true. Into the pits has come Martin West, so it has ruled him out of the race. So, yeah, there's something some kind of debris just dragging along on the left-hand side of the car there, so I'm not quite sure what happened to initiate all of that. Anyway, this is the fight for 7th on the road, although it will be a slightly different order, I think, by the time we get to the end of the race, with penalties being applied to 2 of those cars, the one in 7th place and the one in 9th.
Yeah. So what Lucas Batt's got to be careful of here is not to exceed track limits himself on this last lap. Otherwise he will lose out. Nevertheless, I'm sure they're enjoying their battle, and Lucas is looking down the inside. Here's another driver who's really improved over the last 12 months or so. He finished 10th in the championship last season, I think. And he's trying to get alongside Daniel Court, and he's having a big moment and had to back out of that. So that's allowed Court just to get away a little bit. But he's kept Sam McKee behind. As they come. Oh, and now he has mucked it up, hasn't he? Because he's gone straight on.
At Sunny, and that's allowed David Jones, number 50, to go through as well. But Jonathan Lister completes a hat-trick in the opening meeting of the season for the Aimshot Ma7da Championship. He takes the checkered flag and wins. Ben Powney, number 37, takes 2nd position. 3rd place goes the way of Martin Shelton, so congratulations to him on that podium.
Something happened to Daniel Sibbons on the last lap because he was involved in that battle, but he's dropped back. So Simon Court came through in 4th, David Mason came through in 5th, and Daniel Sibbons dropped to 6th.
And here's the battle for 7th over the line, and I think it's actually going to be David Jones that gets 7th place, with the penalties applied to Daniel Court and Sam McKee, because he was within 5 seconds of them, and they both had 5-second penalties. And Lucas Batt, I think, did make it through as well in 10th place, although he will get 8th, I think, out of all of that once the penalty applied. But what a weekend for Jonathan Lister, Josh.
Perhaps you go quicker when you don't think you're going to do a full season. Triple victory then for Lister. I think, if I remember last year, it took a long time for anybody to win twice in a weekend, and it was Lister right towards the end of the season at Anglesey who managed it. Well, he's managed 3 this weekend. It's easy now for the champion. So he will be delighted with this 2-second victory in that one. He had to work for that hard until Martin West had that problem, and I'm sure we're here with Chris Stevens, with our leading drivers, what they saw of that. And the other driver who will be really pleased, I think, is Martin Shelton, with I think that's his first podium in Mazda 7s. And he had to fight for it. In the end, it was a bit of a gap, but Simon Court and Daniel Sibbons were both involved in that dice. So plenty going on there. One of our newcomers did well, Ian Wells. He finished 11th, so he will be pleased, I'm sure. But let's have a look at the full results.
Yeah, Jonathan Lister, number 71, the winner, from number 37, Ben Powney, in 2nd to 2 seconds the gap. 3rd place went to number 99, Martin Shelton. 4th to number 55, Simon Court. In 5th place was number 43, David Mason. 6th to 56, Daniel Sibbons. Then 2 drivers with 5-second penalties. So it will actually be 7th to number 50, David Jones. 8th to number 66, Lucas Batt. 9th to number 7, Daniel Court. And 10th to number 21, Sam McKee. Ahead of Ian Wells, David Bowen, Callum Barnes and Lewis Penstone Smith. And not forgetting Ayrton Rogers and Peter Wood. Martin West, the only retirement from that race. Well, still a couple more races to go before we get to the Tequila Club Enduro Championship, which is our finale this weekend. Next up, we've got the Absolute Alignment Sports 1000 Championship, and then we've got the final MX5 Cup race of the weekend before we go endurance racing. And I hope you've enjoyed this weekend's 750 Motor Club action. 750 Motor Club's next event is at Silverstone in 2 weeks' time, where yet more of the club's championships have their first appearance of the season. I think the Toyota Model 2 Championship have their second appearance of the season as well, having got underway at Donington Park 6 days ago. So still 3 more races to come here this afternoon, and we will head down to the pit lane very shortly to hear from Chris with our race winner for the 3rd time this weekend, Jonathan Lister. We'll hopefully also hear from Ben Powney and Martin Shelton as well. Let's head down there now.
Jonathan Lister, I feel like we've been here before. I'm getting some deja vu. A hat trick of wins. Fantastic.
Yeah, Oh, sorry, I've got a bit of a cold. I can't believe it. Sorry.
Keep your distance.
Yeah, I
from
know. Sorry. Yeah, it's unreal. What a race. Shane Martin disappeared. I don't know what happened to him. We were having a great race, and he was pushing me all the way. And but I can't believe it. I'm so happy. Can't believe we had a start like this. So yeah, again, thanks to everybody, TSR boys, working so hard. We made some improvements on the car, so it was much better. But there's still more to come. Still needs more hard work. So yeah, brilliant.
The battle looked very intense. I mean, where do you think you were able to make up the ground?
Well, I think I was trying to get a run on him out of the hairpin. I was better than him out of the hairpin, but everywhere else was pretty tight. You know, I was just relying on the slipstream really, and we had a move down a tower and then one down here. So yeah, it was just good racing. It's just a shame he didn't finish, but no, great fun.
Sure, well, hopefully we'll find out what happened to him when we go and speak to Ben Powney. But in the meantime, Jonathan Lister, hat-trick of wins, unbelievable start to the season for you. Congratulations. Let's go and have a word with Ben Powney. So a third and then a second today. It seems like those overnight changes you made have worked out very well.
Yeah, I didn't think I would have, I'd have ripped someone's arm off if they had said 2 podiums today. I think after that first race yesterday, got a shout out to Chris Sellers and all the team back at TSR, because yeah, he'd found a few gremlins. We didn't really think we'd found it, in all honesty, but I should have trusted him more, because yeah, it absolutely meant it's not quite there yet, I don't think, but yeah, I need to find a little bit more to beat Jono, I think.
You were involved in the scrap with Martin West as well. Did you see what happened to it? We saw he was off, but we didn't see why.
Yeah, I think he had a little misfire going through turn 2, and then something's happened and he's obviously pulled off. But it was like the worst place from my point of view, because then Jono managed to get a bit of a break and I think a little bit closer, and I might have sorted it out. But yeah, it was good.
All right, cool. Well, congratulations. We'll see if we can very, very quickly grab a word with Martin Shelton and celebrate your first podium in the series. Congratulations.
Cheers, thanks. To be fair, I don't know what to say. So first podium, and it was hard work out there. It's quite warm now, so yeah, it was sliding all over the shop. But yeah, it's I don't know what to say, to be fair.
Well, fantastic. We'll just say congratulations to you, and a very striking livery if you have as well, if I may say so. So Ian, Josh, let's get back onto your final race for the Absolute Alignment Sports 1000 Championship coming up next.